ShartimusPrime, ShartimusPrime. Reading comics, toys are hella sick, hella whacking it, taking bad hits, taking bad shits. Subscribe.
What's up, you guys? ShartimusPrime here, doing another Jada Toys action figure review on the Street Fighter 2 Ultra Fei Long 6-inch fully articulated action figure. And I've heard about it. It's been out for a little while now. Couldn't find it in the wild, but finally got it at my online retailer, which, guess who? You'll find out soon enough, okay? Anyway, the packaging looks dope. I really do like it. And you can see none of the buttons are actually like sculpted or, you know, spot varnished or anything over there. But here's a comparison to a Prime to the First Marvel vs. Capcom arcade right over here. Looking pretty rad still. I do like this thing, you know, alright? And then you can see on the side, you get some more Street Fighter characters, Vega being my favorite. And then you can see on the back we have Chun-Li added there, and I do have Ryu also. You can see the other characters right there at the bottom. Now on the side right there you can see more characters, and then there's a window on the top. Not much more at the bottom. Let's get to it and crack this thing open, but first, if you're trying to get your Jada Toys figures, you can do so.
Big! Get your big badass toys at BigBadToyStore.com. Click the link in the description below.
So not a ton of accessories with this figure, but a sufficient amount of accessories. It would have been nice to get a set of gripping hands, nunchucks, you know what I mean? And I think the hands look pretty good. They are a bit on the oversized side, though. If you look at compared to the rest of the arm over here, it's kind of, it has a huge knuckle right there. Those are big hands, you know? So you do get a set of these wide open hands, which I really do like, too. A little bit less exaggerated, I guess. It's not bothering me enough to like really disappoint me. You know, it looks fine. It's just a little on the oversized side. I think it's a stylistic choice, and the heads look pretty good over here. I do like the paint apps on the face and everything. So you have some nice little details with the paint detail. Almost looks like photoreal tech right here, and I think they both look pretty good. However, I do wish we'd gotten like a screaming head. You know. I feel like this gesture right here isn't too different from this one. And then the other thing is that I feel like the hair should have a little bit more brown in it. I think they added just a little bit of brown in there, but it's mostly black. But I guess it depends on which version, right? But at least they have the brown in the paint right over there. Just could have been a little bit more brown, though. It looks a little bit more black. Then you have this incredible flame effect piece, which I absolutely love. Look at that. Love that translucent yellow fading into orange. It's so well done, and that's just a little piece of dust or something right there. Come on, get off of there. Come on, get off of there. Get off of there. There it goes. Yeah, so this is really cool. It's very soft and squishy, and you can just go ahead and put a foot right through there, play a little bit of match the shape, and boom. I really do like the sculpt of the rest of the body. I just have some nitpicks over here and some things that kind of irritate me a little bit. The face and neck, those flesh tones are a different color from the rest of the body over here. And I think it's just because it's different plastic. This feels like ABS, this feels like PVC, so it's going to have a different color to it. It's always a little irritating for me when that happens, but they did add paint detail to the flesh tone, and I really like that a lot. I think it looks great, and it really helps with that. I feel like the color that they used here matches a little bit of the PVC color that we could see on the neck and the arms. You could see some more paint variation right there. The elbows, of course, they're going to have a different kind of color to them if they're made with a different kind of plastic, which I think they are. Feels like it anyway. You can just feel how it doesn't give into the fingernail, right? So, you know, subtle issues, but for the most part, I think the sculpting looks great on this figure. And I do have a little bit of an issue with the diaphragm joint getting centered over here, but it's not a big deal. See how it's always kind of just tilted off to the side? So I have been messing around with this. I'll get into the articulation more in a little bit. Another gripe of mine, and I think the proportions are just a little bit off. I also feel like the legs could be a little bit longer. I love the texturing over here though, and we have some nice soft material right around the crotch area, so it helps with the articulation. But yeah, I mean, the legs are too short. I think it's a stylistic design choice to make it look like the video game a little bit more. That's how I'm seeing it anyway. However, correct me if I'm wrong, because I did pull up images that I found from the game, and it looks like the legs are a little bit more proportional than I'm seeing with the figure over here, especially like from the hip to knee section. This whole thigh seems too short to me. This could be longer as well. So let me know what you guys think. I feel like the legs could be longer more than anything else. And the ankles and the feet look pretty good. A little bit of a paint splotch right over there. Glob anyway. A little bit of paint chipping, very, very minor stuff. And then you can see we get peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So I must say the articulation on this figure is quite impressive. I can move the head up with the neck and ball joint at the head. I can make him look up that far, which looks really good to me. And you can get the head and neck making him move downward that much. You might get a little bit of gappage in the back of the head, but it's not enough to irritate me. Great pivoting over here, and of course the head turns side to side and it looks directly side to side just fine. You have the butterfly joints right here that move forward and back very well, and then shoulders move outward just a tad above the 90-degree mark. It looks like to me they move all the way in, rotate a full 360, bicep swivel, beautiful pinless double jointed elbows, and then all the hands turn side to side and hinge up and down. This diaphragm joint and the waist joint irritates me a little bit. It wants to spring into place, and I wish it would not do that. I wish it could just, you know, be posed. Oh, there it goes. But it still gets a little bit tricky. Like, you have to keep pushing it until it gets to that spot. You do get some diaphragm pivot over here. It's just not working for me, though. That diaphragm pivot is just a little bit weird. And I still feel like I don't have the upper torso and the lower torso centered perfectly. So that kind of throws me off. You do get some crunching forward at the diaphragm, and it crunches back barely at all, if anything. Then the waist does... It kind of has that same spring-loaded thing, but once you turn it at a certain point, it'll stay in place. And then you do have some pivoting over here at the waist as well, but not a whole ton. And with both joints, he will crunch forward a bit. Not as much as the Ryu figure, which I'll be reviewing on the channel fairly soon. But yeah, he can crunch forward that far forward and that far back. And the gappage is minimal. You can see a little bit right here. Anyway, you can get the legs moving upward that much, and you can kick back a bit, and you can get the legs moving outward very far with no drop down hips either. I think that is absolutely fantastic. I love that. And then you have an upper thigh cut right here, and then great pinless double jointed knees. Can you do the heel to the butt thing? You can. And then I love that we have an ankle joint right here above the cuff that can turn side to side. You can move the ankles down, up, and he has beautiful ankle pivot. Now, to measure out this Fei Long figure, you can see that he is standing a little bit over 6 inches tall. And then for some size comparisons, here we have Fei Long next to some Jada Toys Universal Monsters figures. We have Dracula and Frankenstein's monster, Jada Toys exclusive. And one thing I love about these Jada Toys Street Fighter figures is that I do think that they fit into multiple lines. These are the Street Fighter toys from Sota, which was the only company making fully articulated action figures at that time, aside from Marvel Legends. And these things are still incredible. We have T-Hawk and we have Vega, and I think they fit into scale together. I'd like to know what you guys think. And then here's Fei Long next to the SH Figuarts Chun-Li, and we have Vega once again. Vega's my guy. That's my favorite one. All right. All right, I love Vega. Anyway, I don't know if these really fit perfectly into scale. I do feel like Chun-Li looks a little too short, maybe, and Vega should be a little bit taller than this. I'd like to know what you guys think in the comment section below. And then here's Fei Long next to some Storm Collectibles Street Fighter figures, and yeah, they totally don't fit into scale together. We have the Battlesuit Chun-Li, and then we have Sagat right over here. And I don't really collect these, but damn it, this Sagat is an incredible figure. And then here's Fei Long next to the SH Figuarts Bruce Lee figure. No similarities between these two at all whatsoever. And then here's Fei Long next to your average 6-inch scale figure. We have the Marvel Legends Big Time Inner Letdown Spider-Man. Whoa, it's Fei Long. More like Fei Short Legs, huh? Get it? Because the leg, the Fei... So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, show some love to the channel by simply clicking that like button. And if you are new here, help us get to that 1 million subscriber milestone by hitting that subscribe button. And I appreciate you guys watching. I honestly do. I know this figure has been out for a while. I know a lot of reviewers have reviewed it, and I'm pretty late to the game, and I appreciate you watching this video. And this is an outstanding piece. I gotta say, it is really refreshing to see another company outside of Hasbro and Bandai making fully articulated figures like this without weird stuff going on like breakage or kind of weird quality control stuff. I did have my nitpicks as far as like getting that upper torso centered properly. I do have my complaints about the legs feeling a bit too short. That could be a stylistic thing. As you saw the SH Figuarts Vega figure, his hands are all huge and stuff. So there is a stylistic element to these figures that I can understand. So I'm not really that bummed out about it. But I still wish the legs were a little bit longer. That part of it kind of makes me feel like, I wish the legs were a little bit longer. But anyway, I think this is an amazing piece. And at the price point for only about $25, I'm going to give this Fei Long figure a Sud rating of...
I love it!
And I'd like to know what you guys think. I am very impressed with this thing. I think they just did an excellent job, and I'm very much looking forward to reviewing the Ryu figure. So, again, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. If you want to see the latest in action figure news, you can find it all over at toynewseye.com. And if you want to stay in touch with me on social media, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, and on whatnot. And I will catch you guys later. Peace!
That's crispy.
Hey, new ShartimusPrime videos. Hey, you should click one. Yeah, click on one of them. Or subscribe if you haven't.
Your face.